Okay. Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and welcome to the, let me share my screen and we can start.
Hey, you got it.
There we go. Okay, this is the Spring Learning Series 2023 on the Rotary District 5000 Foundation. Now, these are the points we're going to attempt to cover in this morning's presentation. And as Naomi has said, that this presentation will be recorded and will be available on the District 5000 website in the training library. And at any point, if you have a question, please put it in the chat box and we'll be checking it. Okay, now, so that you have a better understanding of what you're going to be hearing about in this session, let me explain the difference between two very similar sounding names. One is on the right, the District 5000 Rotary Foundation Committee. On the left, Rotary District 5000 Foundation. Okay. The District 5000 Rotary Foundation is actually a committee. It is not an organization at the district level. It's a committee that manages aspects of the Rotary Foundation, or TRF as we know it, at the district level for the clubs in the district. It manages the district designated funds, district grants, global grants, peace scholarships, etc. And remember, it is not a separate organization. The chairman of the committee is past District Governor Del Green. Now on the left, the Rotary District 5000 Foundation refers to what you will learn about today. It is a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization, and donations made to this foundation may be claimed for tax purposes. The Rotary District 5000 Foundation, and for purposes of brevity, I'm just going to call it the foundation. It was established on December 3rd, 1998 as a nonprofit 501c3 organization, and it was created by past district governors Roy King from the Rotary Club of Waikiki and Dick Moscow from the Rotary Club of Pearl Ridge. And it's used by the member clubs to collect and manage donations, which are tax deductible. The purpose of the foundation is what you see here. And if you start to read it, it aligns perfectly with the purpose of Rotary clubs. The foundation is directed by a board of 9 elected members. Besides the 4 officers, we have 5 directors that represent each of the 4 major islands and 1 at-large director. As you can see, the Maui director position is vacant, as it was held by Mark Harbison, who unfortunately passed away last December. Each board member may serve in the same position for a total of 3 consecutive years. And with the exception of Treasurer Sharon Amano, all of the other current board members are in their 3rd consecutive year in the same position. The foundation has 43 member clubs as of this date. Any District 5000 Rotary or Rotaract club, as Rotaract clubs are considered Rotary clubs, can join the foundation. The club simply submits a resolution that indicates that the club's board has voted to become a member. And as soon as the president of the foundation, the date that the president of the foundation receives this resolution, that's the date of membership for the club. The foundation holds an annual meeting, usually in conjunction with the district conference in May, to elect the new board. And this year's annual meeting will be held on May 20th, 2023 in Hilo at District Governor Randy Hart's district conference. Only member club presidents or their designated representatives can vote in the election. As indicated earlier, all board members except for the treasurer are in their last year of serving on the board. So as the current president and third year president of the foundation, June 30 is my last day in office. But any current board members can volunteer to serve in another position on the board. So unless a current board member volunteers, there will be at least 8 new faces on the board of the foundation. A slate of nominees for each position will be sent to each member club president at least 30 days prior to the annual meeting. So this year's meeting notice and slate will be sent out by April 15. Funds sent to the foundation by clubs are usually proceeds by the club's fundraiser. That is the ticket sales amount less the expenses for the event. And individual donations for a specific project, grant, scholarship, or even a fundraiser can also be sent to the foundation, as well as donations from corporations, organizations, or sponsors. Checks must be made out to Rotary District 5000 Foundation in order to be deposited to the foundation account. And Sharon will provide more details on the financial mechanics of the foundation. Funds deposited in a club's account in the foundation may be used only for the following: expenses for a club project, RILA, junior RILA, or Interact conference attendees. And this is something that a lot of people don't know. Their annual HRYF dues, that $200 dues that HRYF asks from each club, you can use your foundation money to pay that annual due. And also scholarships, matching funds for district grants, as well as the club cash for district grants, and also global grant funding or other international projects. Some clubs have sub-accounts, like Honolulu Sunrise has a sub-account for Ukraine projects, as opposed to their general account, which they used for other projects, scholarships, etc. The Rotary Club of Ala Moana, we don't have these sub-accounts, but we could have one for what we call our Santa Claus sub-account. Santa Claus is a specific, our legacy project, and any donations that we might receive for Santa Claus, we can put in the sub-account, and that's the only project that money can be used for. And you can have a district grants sub-account. Any funds you put in that sub-account can only be used for district grants, and so forth. It's a good way of keeping your funds separate if you want to be sure that only that money is only used for a specific project or scholarship or grant. Now, let me back up. If you do send funds into the foundation for a sub-account for your club, you must indicate which sub-account. Otherwise, it just will go into a general account.
Members, yes.
And I just want to say that foundation cannot accept donated goods or services for a fundraiser or for a project. If an individual, a company, or a sponsor wishes to donate, say, cases of water for a specific project, the club can accept that in-kind donation, but the donor cannot claim the donation for a tax deduction. The donor would have to claim that the cases of water as either a business expense or a marketing or promotional expense. Any questions so far?
Marianne,
Yeah.
Vern has a question, and I don't know whether I want Vern to kind of explain a little bit more about what he's asking. It may be covered in my presentation, but Vern, can you kind of, his question is, do members need to designate the District 5000 Foundation for donations versus other RI Foundation donations? Can you explain a little bit more what you're asking?
I'm still new to Rotary pretty much, and I understand donations to Rotary International Foundation. The question I have is, are these two separate foundations? And if so, do members need to designate separately to the District 5000 Foundation versus if they were donating to Rotary International Foundation / like the polio also? I'm still learning.
Definitely, they're two distinct organizations. The Rotary Foundation, well, both foundations are, your donations are tax deductible.
Right.
However, the Rotary Foundation, TRF, that we call it, when you make contributions for the annual fund or for Polio Plus or for a specific area of focus, okay, now that goes to the Chicago address.
Right.
You fill out the contribution form. There is a Rotary Foundation contribution
Right.
form.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Now, the District 5000 Foundation is to help the local clubs. It's a mechanism where they can put their money and have money donated to the District 5000 Foundation. The donors can claim that as a tax deduction. And also, besides that, it's like a, how shall I say? You don't have to have your own foundation, the club, an individual club foundation, because it's, number one, a tedious process to establish a foundation. You have to have a separate board. You have to be sure that it's a reporting, and you have to do tax returns.
Right.
But if you use the District 5000 Foundation, you don't have to worry about that. We hold your money for you to use for local projects, for grants, for scholarships. You don't have to worry about the tax return because the foundation does the tax return.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I understand we have a district grant that we need to take care of. And I'll check with our folks. That may be coming out of the District 5000 Foundation. I'll double check on that. Thank you.
If it's a district grant, the money would come out of our foundation.
Okay. All right. I understand now. Thanks.
Okay.
Still learning.
Okay.
Good question.
Any other questions before we go on? Okay. Sharon?
Okay. Now I'm up. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Sharon Amano, and I'm the Rotary District 5000 Foundation Treasurer. I also was the past District 5000 treasurer, and then a member of the Rotary Club of West Pearl Harbor. Marianne has shared a lot of information, and I know it's maybe overwhelming to some of you, but I hope you have a better understanding of, and what I'm going to say is your foundation, because that's what it's really for. My portion of the presentation is about handling of the funds in your club's account. Marianne, next. And these are the topics that I will be discussing. Is number one, the grant request form. And number two is the information required for our international wire transfer. And the third would be the IRS charitable contribution acknowledgement letter. And then fourth, I'm providing you with a sample acknowledgement letter that the district sends out. And fifth is a sample of the club's transaction report that details the deposits and the checks going out, and then the balance. And then I want to talk a little bit about online donations. And then at the end, of course, our contact information, and then we can have further Q&A, or if you have any questions with what I'm presenting, I think that's the time to ask the question. So next. This is the grant request for project disbursement. This is a required document that must come with every request, because this fully explains or lets the treasurers know the club's name, the project's name, who the check should be paid out to, where the check should be mailed, and then the amount. I would appreciate a full description of the project so that I could, if it wasn't explained that this project had a sub-account, then by you explaining, giving me a full description, I can just make sure that it goes into the right bucket or sub-account. It must be signed by your president and the committee chair. And if the president is out of town or not available, or the committee chair, vice versa, they can send me an email approving this particular request. And if it's for, now this form can also be used as a reimbursement, because some clubs have made the payment to a vendor and now wants to get reimbursed, or even a club member may have written a check on their own for a particular project that is funded by the foundation. Make sure that this form comes with the receipts so that I can verify that whatever I'm paying the club or the member is exactly what the receipt is for. Next. Wire transfers. Now, some clubs have sister clubs or partners in foreign countries that do joint projects. And the only way to fund the project is through a wire transfer. And so shown on this slide here is the required information in order to complete a wire. So on the left-hand side, you see the beneficiaries. What is required would be the bank name, the bank address, the account holder's name, the account holder's address, the account number, and the SWIFT code. And on the right side, this was a recent transfer that we made to a club in Nepal. So I had to be sure I got the bank's name, the bank's location, or the address. In this particular case, the monies went out to the Rotary Club of KTM in Nepal. I needed, of course, the account number and the SWIFT code. The club, what I have noted on here, the club pays for the wire fee. That may not be true. It's really up to the club to decide whether or not the club will pay the fee or the beneficiary is going to pay the fee. For the most part, the club has been paying for the fees. So for wires, transfers less than $5,000, the fee is $50. For transfers of $5,000 or more, it's $75. So make sure that in your project description section that you do note whether or not you want to pay for the fee or whether or not beneficiary is paying for the fee. That way I know what to charge the club. Because when I do a wire, if it's a $500 wire, I really having to take out, if the club is going to pay $550 from your club account. If the beneficiary is paying the fee, then obviously if it's a $50 transaction, the beneficiary only receives $450. So again, make sure that this information is in the body of the your disbursement form. Wires usually take approximately 48 hours, but sometimes multiple banks are involved, and that may take up to 5 days to reach the beneficiary. Next. The next slide is really the IRS guidelines on written acknowledgements for charitable contributions. And District 5000 Foundation, the 5000 Foundation does follow these guidelines. In the next screen, oh, well, let me just go over, back up one more. Yeah, for the most part, our acknowledgement letter does name the organization, names the amount of the contribution, and then a statement that no goods or services were provided. So that's what a standard letter usually goes out. So next. Oh, no, forward.
I'm sorry.
This is a standard letter that does take care of those three components that I mentioned. However, if the club has a major donor, let's say the donor gave $1,000 towards your project, and you want to fully explain what the project was all about, the club is welcome to do so. So they can modify this letter, add the verbiage that they would like to add for that donor, and then send me the letter back, and I will put my signature on it. So the club is welcome to have that latitude to change the letter that conforms to what they want to do. A classic example is that the Honolulu Club recently received a major grant from an organization, and they wanted to write the letter so that they can specifically address what that Centennial project is all about. So I gave them, they wrote the letter, and my signature and some of their other directors' names were on the letter. So you're welcome to do that. Now, further to this, if this letter states that there's no goods or services provided. However, if you have a fundraiser, a dinner fundraiser, this letter has to be modified because a dinner fundraiser did require some services or goods or services that were provided. So if you had a fundraiser dinner and the ticket sold for $100 and the value of the dinner was $50, then the net contribution to the donor is only $50. It's not $100. And therefore the letter should stipulate what the amount of the contribution was and what the amount of the goods and services received. So the acknowledgement letter has to be modified. I did this for Kahala Sunrise, who had a dinner fundraiser, and the treasurer of Kahala Sunrise had to provide me with the goods and services that were provided. For the most part, it was the cost of the dinner. So keep that in mind.
Sharon, can I just add, as far as the letters are concerned, these acknowledgement letters should be signed by the foundation's treasurer and not by your club treasurer or your club president, because Rotary clubs are not 501c3 nonprofit organizations, and donations to a Rotary club are not tax deductible. That's a big difference. So that's why we have the foundation, so that, you know, donations can go to a 501c3 organization where you can get a tax deduction. So if you have a lot of letters that you know, even for a donation of $20 or $10, and if you have a lot of letters, you can prepare the letters for Sharon's signature, but Sharon has to sign the letters as treasurer of the District 5000 Foundation.
Thank you. That really helps me because Ala Moana Club, a lot of the members make donations, and they're small. They're not all $250 or, you know, they're $50, $100. So Marianne is nice enough to prepare all these letters for my signature. She even prepares a self-addressed envelope with a stamp on it. So that really, really helps.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Sorry
Okay,
about that. My building's having an emergency.
Oh, no.
Let me try and close the door and see if I can shut that out. Okay, you want to go continue, Sharon?
Okay, yes, next slide. Now, what I'm showing here is a club's transaction report, and this happens to be my club. So periodically, clubs wants to update their records or wants to match the District 5000 Foundation report with their report. So they will ask me for an account, a club's account printed. And so in this particular case, because our club hasn't had any activity since 2021, I ran this report back to 2020. So clubs can ask for a report for any period, current Rotary year, 2 years of Rotary years, whatever. Just tell me what period that you would like me to run this report. It's very self-explanatory. It shows the type of, either it's a deposit or a check that was written, the date that it was done, the check number, the name of the person that the check went out to, a brief description of what the transaction was all about. In the second to the last column, it was the amount of the transaction, and the last column shows the balance. So our club currently has $7,500 in the District 5000 account to be used. And it doesn't have the name of there, but our club, this money in the foundation is specifically for scholarships. So I will make that change on the in QuickBooks so that it shows that it's restricted funds and it's only for scholarships. So this is where Marianne did mention about sub-accounts. At one point, we did projects in Cambodia. So we did want a separate sub-account for Cambodia. And then we had another sub-account for only scholarships. That way you can track the money better. And the sub-accounts are good for not necessarily long-term, but if you really want to track the dollars coming in and the dollars going out for that particular project, it's really helpful for you to explain it to your club members. Okay, next. Now I wanted to spend a few minutes on online donations. And this is particularly directed to clubs that have websites and that members or even outsiders can make donations through the website. So PayPal is an option for your members as a way to make their donation directly to the foundation. And PayPal links can be set up on your website. So donations will go directly to the D5000 Foundation account and then subsequently posted to your club's account. PayPal reports are extremely good, and all the necessary donor information is captured through PayPal. So I'm notified as soon as the donation is made and what club it's for. And like in the case of Eco Club that had their Genki Ball project, monies were coming in daily or even multiple donations per day. And when I summarized it, I would send it to Jenny Doe and the treasurer to show them the list of all the donations that came in. As I said, yeah, currently Eco Club is using this PayPal link on their website. And of course, most of their donations for the Genki Balls does come through PayPal. So the benefit to the club by having a link like this would be that there will be less handling of the money transactions by the club, since it would go directly to the foundation, and the foundation will report back to the club what came through PayPal. However, the consideration to the clubs is the club having to pay the fee. PayPal's fee ranges from 11.8% on a $5 donation to a 2.1% on a $500 donation. So it really, for a club, I guess the question is, would the club be willing to pay that fee? Because obviously the amount coming back to the club would be less. In a $500 donation, there's a $10.50 fee. So that would be the consideration for the club. However, if anybody is interested in wanting to explore this option, just give me a call and then I can work with you on this. And also because Eco Club has already set it up, they're another good source to talk with regard to PayPal, having to have PayPal as one of the donation buttons. All right, so next. Hey, this is our contact information. You can text us, phone, email. Mary Ann and I are very accessible. The only thing I ask is that if you text or email me, particularly because I'm new to this whole getting to know all our Rotarians, if you could at least give me your Rotary Club, that way I can be more helpful to you. So when you text or call, when you text or email me, be sure you give me your Rotary Club. And with that, I think I don't know, do we have time? This is the end of my presentation, and I believe we still have time to take any questions from anyone. Or are there any questions in the chat? I think there's one. There's another one in the chat. It's from Naomi. If the donation is given for a specific purpose, oops, wait, now happened. From Naomi, if the donation is given for a specific purpose, the burden of ensuring the funds are used for that purpose is on the club or the District 5000. It would be the District 5000. If it's for a specific purpose that there is a sub-account for, then it's for the D5000 is responsible in making sure that that money is coming out of that sub-account. If it's for a purpose, if it's for a purpose that the D5000 Foundation, what do you call? If it's for the purpose that D5000 Foundation functions under, then it's really up to the club to make sure that the monies are sent out that way. You understand? Did I say it clear? Marianne, can you? Yeah, because a lot of the monies that clubs send in goes to their general account. You know, monies come in from a donor, but it's non-specific, but the donor wanted to have it go to a 501c3. Then it goes to their general account. Only when the club tells me that they want to set up a sub-account, let's say for scholarships, then that money is restricted for scholarships only. So when the request form comes in, I will deduct the scholarship monies that went out from the foundation from the scholarship account.
Yeah, when the donation is sent into the foundation, on the check in the memo line, if you say, you know, like such and such scholarship, then Sharon will know, okay, that money goes into the sub account for that particular scholarship or scholarships in general. So when, and the disbursement will be made from that particular, if it's for that scholarship, then it'll be made from that particular sub account. So it's on the clubs to ensure that the donations are specific if it's going to be for one of their sub accounts, and it's on the foundation to take the money out of that sub account. And Hugh talked about wire transfer fees. Banks are different. The foundation uses First Hawaiian Bank, and that's the fees that they charge.
So I should switch what I'm doing from Bank of Hawaii to First Hawaii, and they charge me less.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
good ad for First Hawaiian Bank.
Yeah.
Check out Central Pacific Bank. They might be even less. You know. Yeah. Each bank is different. So if you want to incur less fees, if you think you're going to do wire transfers, then check with the bank. Yeah.
Sandy has her hand up.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Just a couple of comments. Marianne, if you have an emergency going on in your condo, I think you should run. And you can-
No, the emergency went off, so that's okay.
we would forgive you. But the other thing I just wanted to bring up, if you're new, or even if you've been a Rotarian for a while and the terminology confuses you, we totally get it. We know that we use some of the same words like grants for different kinds of things. There was a question that came up earlier, and recently another president-elect asked me the same question. So I just wanted to kind of bring this up. When we're talking about the District Rotary Foundation monies like we're talking about here, think of it, the focus of it really is a way of us to be able to handle our contributions and donations to the club. Yes, we say that we can use these money for grants, but just keep in mind, you're also, if you're a president-elect, you are also now getting a lot of memos and reminders that your district designated funds are coming in for your district grants. That is different. Okay, that's money that's coming from you, coming from the district to you to administer your district grants, but that's different from this, right? So I think we all know who've been around a while, we probably have to fix up our vocabulary and our language, but that's just one clarification and distinction. It's easy to get that mixed up. So your district designated funds for your district grants that are coming up, that's different than what we're talking about in this session. Huh? Anyway, run, Marianne.
Well, as a follow-on to Sandy's comments, okay, now for your district grants, clubs have to match their allocation. Now, that amount that they have to match, they can take it out of their District 5000 Foundation funds. That's the only connection, but otherwise, yes, they're totally different. And it can be very confusing. A lot of us, we just say foundation, and okay, which foundation are you talking about? The Rotary Foundation or District 5000 Foundation? So it helps to be a little more, to provide a little more clarification and not just say foundation. Okay, any other questions or comments? Well, hey, we're finished early. And I really want to thank all of you for attending today's session on the District 5000 Foundation. This is a lot to absorb, but Sharon and I hope you have a better understanding of our foundation. And we both would like especially to thank DGE Mark Merriam for giving us this huge opportunity to provide you with information on the Rotary District 5000 Foundation. This is the first time we've had a chance to let Rotarians in our district know what the foundation is. And thank you, Mark. And I think Mark probably did that because he used to be treasurer and he knows how confusing it can be.
Nancy has a question.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Sandy, because I was kind of thinking, oh, I think I'm getting it. But I was thinking it was one. And I've been around a long time, but I have successfully avoided ever having to absolutely understand it and deal with it. But I might have to figure it out pretty soon, considering what's going on. So is there an outline or a chart or a flow chart or a directional signs to really help us so that I could visually, see? The letters were great. Thank you, Sharon, for those letters and better understanding. And obviously I know that I can go and find those samples somewhere, but I think it would help me if I knew if on the district or whatever, some people know I don't like computers. Took me 10 minutes to find this link to come to this morning. So anyway, yeah, just let us know at some point in time where we can go to better understand it, okay? Because I want to understand it before I ever even look to enter into it. I don't want to enter into thinking I'm going to do something and then not understand where I have to go with it, because you don't want to put a lot of energy into thinking you're going to get a grant or you're going to take your district designated grant to do something and they're confused, okay? So help us know where we can find a better outline without calling Sharon or Marianne every day for directions. Okay, thank you.
But we're
Well,
welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, Nancy, the session was recorded.
Yes.
With the PowerPoint and everything. So yeah, you got to go to the district website, to the learning library, and then you can download it and you can have it, on your computer. And if you want to print out the PowerPoints or whatever, you can probably do that too. Yeah.
See, I didn't think of learning library. Now I'll go. Thank you. Okay, thanks.
And also, Nancy, before the bylaws were revised back in 2020, or is it? Yeah. The immediate past district governor was automatically appointed as president of the foundation. And we thought that was a little unfair because unless you've been involved and worked with the foundation, it's difficult to just jump in. So that's why we revised the bylaws, and all of the board, all of the officers and the directors are elected. No one person is automatically appointed as president. And I had the fortune or misfortune of being both secretary and treasurer of the foundation for a lot of years. So I was asked if I would be president, and I figured, oh, well, why not? But this is my last year. June 30th is my last day. However, for continuity purposes, as we indicated, a board member can serve 3 consecutive years, but they can volunteer to serve in a different position for another 1, 2, or 3 years. So I have volunteered to be secretary for the foundation to provide a little bit of continuity for all of the new people coming in July 1st.
Good.
But
Good.
who knows? It might be just 1 year. I don't know if it's going to be 3 years, but at least 1 year just to provide that continuity. And by April 15th, which is next Saturday, all the presidents of the 43 member clubs of the foundation will receive an email from me announcing the meeting information, when, where, what time, and also the slate of candidates. And
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Also-
Yeah,
also-
good
also-
information.
Also, can I add that I encourage all the attendees here to take this information back to your clubs so that for those, especially the PEs or the treasurers of your club, you know, it'd be helpful for them if when they request for funds, that they're fully aware of what the requirements are. So either have them go to the Learning Center and pull out the PowerPoint, or listen to the recording, but it'd be valuable information for your new officers to know. Okay, thank you.
And Naomi, is there a link to the learning library? A direct
yeah.
link? And yeah, can you put it in the chat?
Okay.
Yeah.
But Marianne, I'll put that in the chat. But I wanted to add some more things, because when we did the bylaws and constitution revision, one of the things we added was this educational series. And I think we should also add a clarification that the D5000 Foundation is a separate entity, is not an official Rotary International affiliate. Okay, so it's very separate, with its own rules, with its own bylaws. Okay, but the thing about donations applies to any grant. Anytime you say, a club says this money is for a certain purpose, that money is restricted to that purpose. Okay, so whether it be for grants, when you apply and you say the money is going to this purpose, or the money going to you say the money's going to the foundation, and you say it's for scholarships, it needs to go for that purpose. So it's the burden actually is on the club to make sure that when you're asking for money from the district foundation, that it is going to that purpose. So if you collected money, you should get it out as soon as possible if you're saying you're using it for something. So I just wanted to add that we need to keep track of that. And I would encourage all clubs to keep your own ledgers too, to make sure you know how much is in that the district foundation.
Yeah, when clubs are soliciting donations, especially from sponsors for a fundraiser or whatever, you should be sure to include in that solicitation that the funds will be used for scholarships or a specific community project or whatever, because none of the money sent to the foundation can be used for club operations or for general club expenses. That's a no-no. It has to be for a specific charitable cause.
Mhm.
And Naomi just put the link in the chat for the learning library. Any other questions or comments? Again, thank you all. Thank you, Mark. This was, it was a good learning experience for Sharon and myself, but thank you for the opportunity to, provide the District 5000 Rotarians the information on the Rotary District 5000 Foundation.
And if clubs want a speaker at your club about the foundation, you can ask Marianne or I to be a speaker at your club.
Oh, good.
So will you do 7 a.m. speaks? 7 a.m. talks as well?
Is that when your club meets?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we can make an exception.
If it is, it is.
Oh.
Okay. All right, what happened to Naomi? Oh, there she is. Okay.
Okay, well, hey, we ended a few minutes early. And I got to go to a 10 o'clock session, people.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Thank you, Sharon. That was very useful.
Oh,
You're
good.
welcome.
Yep. And we'll
My
be
pleasure.
hearing from you, Hugh.
Hope we see everybody at district conference here in Hilo next month.
I'll
Thank
be
you all.
there. Yep.
Okay, is this gonna send us back to the main session now? No?
No, I guess we got to leave first.
So
Naomi?
No.
If you are staying for the secretary session, you can stay on the Zoom. It's the same Zoom.
Oh, okay. All right.
But if you are going to one of the others, so at the 10 o'clock, there is a district grants on Zoom 1 and mental health initiative on Zoom 3.
Okay, I'll go to grants, learn more while I'm in the brain wave. Thank you all.
Okay.
Schedule change from what was published, right? Because I was trying to get into something else and I got here. So
Oh,
I saw leadership development. That's what I was trying to get into, but
Okay, the leadership opportunities is on track 1 at 11 o'clock. So
Oh.
if you go to the district website, it has the revised schedule. Some of them did change.
oh, okay. Because
Just a
no,
few sessions.
it was a 9 o'clock leadership development on track 1.
It
I
got
was trying to get
preempted.
into-
That one
Huh?
got preempted.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I didn't make it in there. I made it into something else. So, okay, gotcha. Thank you.
So everybody else is staying for the secretary session?
No, I'm leaving.
Okay,
Thank you. Bye.
bye. Well, look at Jerry on a horse. Nancy would have liked that. Jonathan, you staying for the secretary session?
Jonathan, you're PE, right? No?